Good morning and welcome back to the Win Celtic Fans News. A bit more serious video this morning. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. There's no financial gain to me if you do subscribe to the channel. It just gets us closer to that 20,000. But this morning's video is all about transfer speculation. Yes, Celtic have just about got over the line. A win tomorrow night. We've made sure that we are champions again. Ole, ole. And with that comes towards the end of the season. And when it comes to the end of the season, there's then the transfer speculation about our best players leaving Celtic. And there's a couple of stories kicking around this morning. One of them, I think, may have some meat on the bone about it. One is just pure fantasy because I don't think the player will leave. I think he's a player that will stay at Celtic. He's just signed a new long-term contract at the beginning of this season, so I don't think he will leave. But the other one, we all know he's leaving, don't we? But there is other news this morning. Charlie Mulgrew has been interviewed for the under-18s job at Celtic. It's not really a big story. That's been kicking around for days now. It's all been known that there's been a few vacancies in the academy section after Darren O'Dea was made pathway manager, which is a new role in Celtic. It's one that Brendan Rodgers has brought about to have younger players know the pathway so that there is no deviation from it. They know that they will play on the B team. They know that they will then come into the first team for a while to train with the players, and then they will know that they'll go out on loan. It will be a pathway that will be laid out so that they know what's going to happen at Celtic. So they don't get to a situation where they get to the end of the contract and go, I want to be playing in the first team. It's not fair. My gaffer, I want to be playing in the first team. I'm only 18 and I'm fucking brilliant and I want to be playing in the first team, right? No, son. Fucking shut it. Anyway, as the fact that Charlie Mulgrew has been interviewed for the role under 18 manager. Stuart McLaren has recently departed the post ahead of the next season. The club is looking for a new face to come in and take the reins. Charlie McGrew, for me, has also been linked with Johnny Hayes. That would be a fantastic combination, wouldn't it? Really, Johnny Hayes can teach the younger players on the wing to how to really get past players, and Charlie Mulgrew, he could just train them how to be like Charlie Mulgrew, can't he? Some say he was a cracking defender for us. Some say he was garbage. Anyway, let's get on to the big stories. And watch the video that's coming out after this one today. It is a reaction to the Graham Souness meltdown yesterday. Yes, Graham Souness had a meltdown yesterday, so that video will be coming up right after this one. So make sure that you are subscribed to the channel to get the notifications when that video comes out. Right, are you ready for this? There's a player that's just signed. He has signed a new contract this season with Celtic, and he has been linked with teams in Turkey. Yep, and it is the one and only Cameron Carter-Vickers. Now, you always know that your top players. I mean, John Hartson even said it the other day. Look, Celtic will need to cash in on one or two of their assets, as they always do. Even though we're not in a position, we are in a position where we don't really need to. It's going to be the first summer that we're going straight into the Champions League. And as always, as a Celtic fan, you want us to keep our best players. I want us to keep our best players. Last year, we all knew if we could keep that team together, we only needed 4 quality players, 3 or 4 quality players to go into the Champions League and really sort of be on our own. I mean, Jota, the thought of Jota going into the Champions League again this season was overwhelming. It was a given. No one expected Jota to go for 25 million. It was certainly, it wasn't one that we thought would maybe leave. It was maybe going to be Rio Hatate or Dyson or Kyogo or something like that. We never thought Jota would leave. Cameron Carter-Vickers, I don't think he'll go to Turkey. He want to play in the Champions League. He want to play with Celtic. He loves being in the city. He loves staying in the city by all accounts. He has said that he's happy and he's not looking to move in the near future. So I think this story is just a little bit of stab in the dark to see if there's any interest from the player to move from Celtic. And that's generally the way that these things happen, isn't it? The next player that I can see this one coming to fruition, and I've got to say, Celtic, what the fuck are you playing at? Season ticket renewals are out, right? Don't we ask? Well, we're only customers. We're not fans. We don't have a vested interest. You get these meetings at Celtic Park with stakeholders, fucking folk that have got a vested interest in the club, or fucking fans that have got a big profile about them. It's nonsense. us as fans need to know what the fuck our money is getting spent on this summer. And if we're selling our best players, we've got a right to know if we're not. Don't know. We don't we? Just fucking sit in the dark, sit in the corner and shut the fuck up. That's what the fucking boards would say to us. Anyway, Matt O'Reilly, we all know that Matt O'Reilly is going to go this summer. But this is where it pisses me off because I'm going to put this up. It's Tipsblade fucking Danish paper, right? A Danish online. Matt O'Reilly is. I'll put this up. He's had a phenomenal season. I had to put it in Google Translate because even on Google Chrome, the Danish and anything Icelandic and fucking all the countries just does not translate. So anyway, the Danish Star took a total of 3 awards, namely Young Player of the Year, Players Player of the Year, and Player of the Year. It appears that Celtic website on the following day. It also appears that the national team's coach Morten Vikhorst was present. I didn't know he was the national team coach. Yeah, there you go. You learn something new every day on this channel. Morten Vikhorst was present. The fantastic season could throw off an impressive summer change, according to the information that I have. Matt O'Reilly's home team are currently in dialogue with 2 unnamed top 6 teams in England's top tier Premier League. Seriously, Celtic? And I can understand if you know that you're going to be selling a player, you want to get the biggest buck that you can for him. Even though the transfer window, and maybe it's a bit of ingenious by Celtic, but do we have a replacement in place? And please don't fucking tell me that Paulo Bernardo's your replacement. We know he is. But I think as a manager, hopefully that we'll go out and we'll spend. I mean, I'm looking for us to spend 30 million this summer. If we do not spend 30 million on about 3 or 4 players maximum, no more than 3 or 4 players maximum. If we don't spend 30 million to 30 odd million on players to take us into the Champions League, once again in August, we need answers for the board. And if the board does not fucking change its policy, there's only one thing for it, and it's time to change the board. You've had a good run, Lawwell and co, but you know, this is a different era now. It's a different era. We're getting a bit pissed off, a bit fed up of just winning the fucking league, right? And if you're happy enough with that, and if you're happy enough to just go into Europe and take the 60 million and have absolutely frigging terrible results, have a look in the mirror. Anyway, this goes on to say, in the past, the 23-year-old Matt O'Reilly has also been a hot topic of Atletico Madrid. As Tipsblade could reveal, they had the bid rejected in January. Inter Milan has also mentioned the club have an eye on the Dane. Matt O'Reilly has scored 16 goals and 17 assists in 46 games this season. Impressive numbers for a midfield player, say the least. The fact that it has it in here, it says Matt O'Reilly's, just highlight it. I'll scroll up so make sure it's on the screen. Matt O'Reilly's home team is in dialogue with 2 unnamed top 6 teams from England's top tier, the Premier League, about a possible transfer ahead of the summer. European. It's just going to piss us off, isn't it? It's just to piss us off on a week that we shouldn't be getting pissed off. And I'm sorry to bring you this story, but it's a story that came out last night, and it flashed up this morning on my European Celtic checker. But here we go. Look, it came out yesterday afternoon, the 13th. It's coming from his home country. We know that he only goes by his parents, but it is devastating news. Look, we all know that Matt O'Reilly will be sold this summer. We need to get over it. Ange Postecoglou once said, look, don't get too attached to your stars because they will love you and leave you. They will love you and leave you. Just like me. And on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you this morning. Make sure you check out the next video, which is a bit funny, and it's a reaction to Graham Souness's meltdown. If you want to watch that here. Do you like that? It was a good one, isn't it? Have a fantastic day, Celtic fans all around the world.